KY3 News at 6 starts now.
Things are not always as they appear. A lot of times we're deceived, and I think this might be the case.
Startling new developments in an already bizarre murder case in Springfield.
Gypsy Blanchard now charged with killing her mother, and a wide-ranging fraud scheme uncovered by investigators. It is a twisted story that's leaving family friends feeling betrayed and wanting answers. From KY3 News, I'm Lisa Rose.
And I'm Steve Grant. Gypsy Blanchard, along with Nicholas Godejohn, are in Wisconsin tonight on $1 million bond, charged with stabbing Dee Blanchard in their Springfield home.
The two made their first court appearance today in Waukesha, Wisconsin. Gypsy crying through the proceedings and shocking many of those who knew her because she was walking and not using a wheelchair.
The photo on the left shows Gypsy as we have seen her. On the right, her mugshot. Totally different. This unfolding story is full of mystery, deception, and raising more questions from detectives and those close to the Blanchards.
Team coverage starts right now with Linda Russell outside the Blanchards' house with the latest from the neighbors there. Linda?
Well, the crime scene tape is up here still for a third day in a row as investigators continue collecting evidence here. But new shock today in this close-knit neighborhood for all those who knew the Blanchards as wonderful people. Now they don't know what to believe.
I don't know what's truth from lie.
No one in the neighborhood could comprehend how anyone would want to harm Dee Blanchard and her handicapped daughter, Gypsy.
I thought they were nice and kind and, you know, loving people.
Sweet, loving, caring, just full of life and happiness.
Things are not always as they appear.
Investigators say the awful Facebook posts that tipped off friends that something was wrong were actually authored by Gypsy herself. She told investigators she knew her boyfriend, Nicholas Godejohn, was going to kill her mother, and she did nothing to stop it. Godejohn told detectives that Gypsy gave him the knife and asked him to kill her mom. Court documents say they cleaned up some of the blood, then took a cab away from the house.
We know that they were here in Springfield for at least probably 1 to 2 days after the murder had taken place.
The other shock to those who thought they knew Gypsy is that she doesn't need a wheelchair.
I've never seen her out of her wheelchair. It's like that's unheard of.
Up there was no wheelchair taken. She's carrying her own luggage.
The pair was arrested in Wisconsin after a standoff. They'd taken a bus to get there. Investigators say they've also uncovered a long history of financial fraud by the mother and daughter. Debbie says she once gave Dee money to help cover bills.
I'm disappointed, and I think a lot of people, you know, to be, you know, frauding people.
This is a tragic event surrounded by mystery and public deception.
Of course, the news of Gypsy's alleged involvement in the crime is the biggest shock of them all.
No mother deserves to be murdered like that. No mother deserves that.
The sheriff did not go into a motive, but says he believes there will be enough evidence to paint a picture at the trial. Investigators say they'll likely be on the scene here for one more day. Live in Greene County, Linda Russell, KY3 News.
Thanks, Linda. Here's what we know about Nicholas Godejohn, the man who was arrested with Gypsy and charged with Dee's murder. He lives in Big Bend, Wisconsin, in the house where he and Gypsy were both arrested yesterday. Godejohn also has a criminal past. In 2013, he was arrested after investigators say he was watching pornography and fondling himself in a McDonald's restaurant for 9 hours. Police charged him with carrying a concealed weapon after finding a large knife during the arrest. Lisa?
So how do investigators say Godejohn got to the Ozarks and helped Gypsy commit the crime? KY3's Jahan Sheikh joins us from the Greyhound Terminal in East Kearney with more on that. Jahan?
Lisa, authorities believe that Gypsy's boyfriend, Nicholas Godejohn, arrived here in Springfield from Big Bend, Wisconsin on a Greyhound bus. Now, there's no official timeline, but authorities believe a short time after Godejohn stabbed Dee, Gypsy's mother, they both, Gypsy and Godejohn, hopped on a Greyhound bus back to Wisconsin. Now, authorities say that no one would have recognized Gypsy because both of her looks and her alleged illnesses were deceiving.
Deception down to Dee and Gypsy's last name.
Her last name is not Blanchard. It's Blanchard with no E.
An E that family friend Brittany Hansen says Dee added when she and Gypsy moved to Springfield. Brittany knew the Blanchards when they lived in South Louisiana.
She was very friendly. She was very sweet. You know, that I don't believe to be untrue. She was very sweet, you know. I called her Aunt Dee Dee. But at the same time, you only know what she told you.
And what's being uncovered about the lives of Dee Dee and Gypsy don't seem to add up.
I know that when she moved to Missouri in 2007, she said that Gypsy was 12, which is not true.
A lot of neighbors seem to believe Gypsy's long list of medical issues had her in a wheelchair, which authorities have now uncovered as untrue.
She can walk without assistance or a wheelchair, and she can do that very well.
A part of a plan Brittany believes Dee Dee orchestrated to get money. When Dee Dee was younger, she went about getting money a different way.
Her father had mentioned to my mother on an occasion that Dee Dee had stolen her mother's ID and name and tried to open some credit cards with it.
Regardless, she says it's hard to believe Gypsy turned on her mother.
Even if you know someone as much as you think you do, that you know them as well as possibly can be, they can still surprise you. So to find that this little girl had brutally orchestrated her mother's murder is really hard to swallow.
Now, a lot of people trying to comprehend all of this information. Now, a reporter that I'm in close contact with in Wisconsin says, like you said, Steve, that Gypsy cried the entire time during the court hearing this afternoon. Reporting in Springfield, Jahan Sheikh, KY3 News.
One of the strangest aspects of this case, Sheriff Jim Arnott says, the Blanchards were involved in con jobs lasting several years across several states. KY3's Eric Hilt is on the paper trail tonight. And Eric, what do we know about some of the places they've been?
Steve, we're hearing that the Blanchards scammed many different charities and lied to many different charities across the U.S., including churches and support groups in Louisiana, and even lying to Children's Hospital in Kansas City. Coming up tonight at 10 o'clock and at 9 o'clock, we'll share more of those places the two are accused of scamming and how a longtime family friend is reacting to these shocking accusations. Steve?
Thanks, Eric. Perhaps the biggest gift the Blanchards received once they moved to Springfield? Home ownership.
How'd they do that? Contact KY3's Ashley Reynolds sat down one-on-one with Habitat for Humanity.
Our mission is a place where everyone has a decent place to live. Are there folks that try and take advantage? Show me a business where there isn't.
Larry Peterson was not with Habitat for Humanity when the Blanchards moved in 2008.
It just proves that happy endings are not just in fairy tales, they're real.
It's quite a filtering system before somebody's accepted.
The Blanchards were approved and got through the door.
Habitat doesn't give away homes. There's a very specific process that people apply for to become a Habitat homeowner.
Habitat homeowners pay a zero-interest mortgage. Different committees verify family income and conduct home visits.
If they make too little, they wouldn't be able to pay us back. If they make too much, they'd be eligible for a conventional loan.
Do you think this current situation might lead to reevaluating your application process?
I think it's too early to tell. I don't really want to speculate on that. Right now, we're comfortable with the process. Habitat for Humanity has been around since 1976, and this is the first one of these that I've ever heard of out of the 500,000 people that we have helped. I'd be afraid of letting the tail wag the dog.
And Peterson would not discuss specifics about the case and says he only knows what we are reporting. Habitat for Humanity did give documents to the Greene County Sheriff's Office. Now, before you donate, check a charity. Go to this website. It's charitynavigator.org. You can plug in the charity and see how much money of every dollar goes to the cause. Also, a word of caution tonight, be careful of those GoFundMe websites. Anyone can set up those, and it's really hard to verify where your money is going.
Ashley Reynolds,